Bismillah walhamdulillah wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Abdul Wahid from Faatih Institute with another beneficial reminder, inshaAllah ta'ala. Now, today, we are going to share something very special. Something very, very special. And what makes this thing special is that it is from the obligatory knowledge in Islam. It is from the knowledge, from that portion of knowledge that you need to know. Every accountable person needs to know. So what is this thing that we're going to speak about today? Simple, something very easy to understand. It is how to determine if somebody is accountable. Mukallaf is the word in Arabic. How do you determine if somebody is mukallaf? How someone is accountable? Now you are probably wondering why this is important. Before we get into the conditions and the criteria, you're probably thinking to yourself, why should I know this? What makes this thing important? Now what makes this thing important is that if these conditions are not met, that person will be unaccountable and he will not be asked and he will not be accountable for what he did in this life. Meaning, basically, that he will enter paradise without any torture. Right? The person who is not accountable, he will enter paradise without any torture. Inshallah. So what are these conditions for a person to be accountable? 1, 2, 3. 3 simple criteria, conditions that need to be met. Right, if one of these conditions are not met, then this person is considered unaccountable and he will enter paradise without any torture. But if these conditions are met, then he is accountable for his deeds and he will be asked about what he did in this life. Right? So the first one is that he must have heard the call to Islam. Right? The second one is that he must be sane. And the third one is that this individual must have reached the age of puberty. Right? He must have reached the age of pubescence. So the first one I mentioned, brothers and sisters, is that he must have heard the call to Islam. Right? The basic message of Islam. Now what is the basic message of Islam? No one is God except Allah. No one is God except Allah. This is the basic message of Islam and this is the call to Islam. So if somebody has heard this basic message, then this first criteria has been met, and then there are 2 more than inshallah ta'ala we are going to explain. But if you have an individual who has not heard the basic message of Islam, then this person is not accountable. An example of that are individuals, people who live in the forests, who live in the Amazon, right, who have no communication with the outside world. People who have never heard about Islam, who have never heard about Allah, who have never heard about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These people have not heard the basic message of Islam, so they will not be accountable. Yes, this is why it's very important. You are probably understanding why this knowledge of determining how someone is accountable is important. Right? So the second one we mentioned, brothers and sisters, is that individual must be sane. He must be sane. So if you have someone who is insane, who cannot use his mind, then he is unaccountable, which means that he will not be accountable for his deeds on the Day of Judgment. For example, someone who has autism, right? Someone who has a mental illness in their head, who cannot think properly, right? SubhanAllah, sometimes you have people who are 40 years old, right? Maybe more than that, but their mind, their brain, their mentality is like that of a child, right? SubhanAllah, may Allah Ta'ala protect us from it. So these are examples of people who are insane, who do not have the mental capacity, and these people will not be accountable for their deeds on the Day of Judgment. So that is the second one, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, you guys are following along. The third one is that the person must reach the age of puberty. Right? The third one is that he must reach the age of puberty. And for a male, this occurs in one of 2 matters. And for a female, she has one of 3 matters might occur for her in order for her to be determined as someone who is pubescent. For the male, either he reaches the age of 15 lunar years, or he sees his mani, he has a wet dream. So if one of these 2 things occur for a male, then he becomes pubescent, and then that condition has been met. For a female, one of 3 matters. Either she reaches the age of 15 lunar years, or she sees her mani, or she has her menstruation. Right? She becomes a lady, she's growing up, she has her menstruation. So if one of these 3 things occur for a female, then she becomes pubescent. Right? Barakallahu feekum, brothers and sisters. This is something very, very, very important to understand. And like I mentioned earlier, that is from the obligatory knowledge in Islam. If you have any questions, message us. Inshallah ta'ala, we will be able to answer your questions. Barakallahu feekum. Like us on Facebook, on Instagram, Faatih Institute. Check out our website, of course, fatih.com. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan is a month of blessings and charity, and a person's deeds are multiplied many folds. That is why we encourage you to donate to Faatih Institute in this blessed month, so that we may provide the obligatory knowledge to Muslims all over the world, and that we may establish Faatih as a leader in Islamic online education. Go to the GoFundMe link below and donate today. Barakallahu feekum.